It is the second biggest week in the calendar year for WWE. That's right, it's Royal Rumble weekend approaching us. Royal Rumble in San Antonio. Come hang out with your boy. I'll be in San Antonio all weekend long. Sunday before Royal Rumble, join me at On the Rocks Pub from 2 to 4 local time. $3 Shinerbach beers, $4 Tito's vodkas. Yum, yum, yum. It's going to be a great time. And we'll talk about who you think's going to win the Royal Rumble, who you're making your picks for Wrestle Rumble.
You mean Baron Corbin.
WrestleRumble.com. Hey, it could be anybody. It's a dark horse. WrestleRumble.com. They're giving out prizes of the top 10. The first place and second place, you get tickets to WrestleMania and cold hard cash.
You can't beat that.
You cannot beat that. WrestleRumble.com. All right, Juice, let's get into some rapid fire of the undercard. Let's start even with the pre-show.
The 2-hour-long pre-show.
The 2-hour pre-show. It's going to have Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax.
I don't see any other way other than Nia Jax winning this match. She's got to keep her stock going high. I don't think she's lost yet, has she? As
Nia Jax? I don't know if she's been pinned.
No, well, then she's just going to go over here. Either that or it'll be some weird smosh DQ finish.
Yeah, I would have to agree. This is going to be a Nia Jax written all over it. Sheamus and Cesaro versus Gallows and Anderson. The gimmick here being 2 referees needed.
Everything is a gimmick now. Like, they've done the shark cage now twice. Now they're doing 2 referees for this match. There was a I Forfeit match on 205
Maybe they'll
Live.
start selling action figure packs with 2 referees.
They're going to have to start doing it so they can. I mean, if they do the shark cage, they can do it with anything. So, I think it's going to be an interesting match. I think Sheamus and Cesaro win here, but I just can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, I'd have to say the titles stay on them. I can't see the titles going to Gallows and Anderson on a pre-show. Plus, I think keeping Sheamus and Cesaro champions is key for them. Of course, then if they're in the Rumble match, can they get along?
And where do you put the tag titles up until WrestleMania, do you think?
That's a good question. After this Rumble, we'll really have to look and assess what the tag situation is all in all. But yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro hopefully walking out of San Antonio still with the straps. All right, moving on into the pay-per-view, the 4-hour pay-per-view portion of things. We got Becky, Nikki, Naomi versus Alexa, Mickie James, and Natalya. A big hodgepodge of the ladies.
I think it's going to be a strong match. These girls were all on SmackDown, and they've been killing it. But I don't know why there wasn't a straight-up singles match for a title. I don't know why they put them in this.
Who cares? We got Mickie James.
That's true. I'm excited that Mickie James is back.
Oh, Mickie, you're so fine. I don't know. I can't even put in 140 words, but I can.
140 words.
140 characters.
There's a lot.
I couldn't put in 140 characters on Twitter, but I can cut a rug to my happiness to her theme song that she's
I feel like no one, like the pop wasn't as big for her on SmackDown because she was in the cage when she revealed.
Yeah,
but I still think it's a pretty big deal that she's finally out there, and I'm excited to see how it goes and see how she is in the ring. I don't remember the last time I saw her work, other than the takeover.
I agree. I would rather a singles match. I don't really know if I need to see a 6-man tag match on a night that we're already going to have a 30-person Rumble match. But be as it may, I'm going to go with the heels here.
Oh, definitely. I would definitely go with the heels here just to see where it goes from there.
Cruiserweight cruiserweight match here. Rich Swann going up against the very entertaining heel Neville.
I think Neville's got a lot going for him. I'm going to have to pick Neville in this match to take the belt. Where that goes from there, other than a rematch with Swann somewhere else, I don't know. But
I see the logic. I'm going to say that Rich Swann holds on to it, though.
Okay.
I think that with the case of the cruiserweights here, I think this is something you can draw this out a little bit more. I don't know what the cruiserweight plan would be for WrestleMania. That's a whole good segment.
I hope that's a multi-man ladder match, if anything.
But I would think that you can let Swann hold. And Neville's doing great things, but I think Swann holds it for just a little bit longer until they decide to change that off. And then also, title on the line, Charlotte was 15 pay-per-views in a row.
Yep.
Undefeated. Up against Bayley.
I'm going to have to keep with the trend of her being undefeated on pay-per-view or in a row rather than take Charlotte. And, Bayley should just challenge her on Raw and then she'll win the belt. That's as simple as that.
Yeah,
That's the only way.
The Raw is the kryptonite. Yeah, Charlotte holding on to this title against Bayley. What I will watch in this match, though, is that you would kind of think that this is what they're something with Bayley is what they're setting up for WrestleMania.
Yeah, definitely.
So the fact that these two are fighting now already, it makes you wonder, what are they going to do to make this last to WrestleMania, assuming that this is the match, unless there's other participants that get added into it. All right, let's go into the 2 title matches. First off, the Universal Championship. Kevin Owens up against Roman Reigns with Chris Jericho hanging above in a shark cage. I wonder if the sale of shark cages have gone up in the last few weeks since they've been.
And it's like a play set. I feel like it probably did. I feel like some kids are seeing this and they're like, I don't do this in my house, and they put whatever figures in there. And I don't know, but I think it's. I mean, I saw it at Takeover, whenever that was, a couple takeovers ago. Yeah, and that made sense. This makes sense too. I don't know, but now they just made it a no disqualification match, so I feel like something like it's gonna be easier for Owens to retain here. I don't see Roman Reigns walking out at all.
No disqualification or disqualification valid. I've stood by it. I'm staying by it. I just don't see Roman Reigns getting the title right now. I just don't, and I think Kevin Owens, while it might be surprising if we stop and think that Kevin Owens is going to be the guy at least leaving Rumble on the road to Mania as the champion for Raw, for Vince's flagship, Kevin Owens, who's unorthodox in his look, but I think he's held it to this point. Something's worked, something's doing it. I think he holds on to it, and how he does it, what the scenario is that Chris Jericho helps him or potentially hinders him, I don't know.
Maybe Jericho brings something in the ring or in the shark cage, like brass knucks or something.
Drops something.
Although he doesn't have to be sneaky about it, because it's no DQ.
Depending on how high the cage is, maybe somebody pulls a ladder up. They're up on a ladder and you get to Jericho.
I hope so. I can only hope that. That's a good idea.
There's a lot of scenarios.
That's a great idea, actually. I hope they do bring a huge ladder for that.
We saw on Monday, we saw the cage lower. Somebody in the wings could be lowering. I mean, there's so many things that could be done with it.
If Golish was here, he'd say Sting.
Sting would have a crane.
Sting
come in with a crane.
They would just drop Sting down instead with the cage. Like, here comes the shark cage. Oh, it's just Sting.
How great would it be if this is the last match before the 30-man match, and Jericho stays in it, and then Jericho is number one for the Rumble?
I want him to be in the
lower
match,
the cage, and he steps out of it.
I want him to stay in the cage so that when the Rumble happens, he comes down and that's his entrance. That'd be fantastic.
Well, he'd have to be number one, because if he's anything further, it would just be a distraction that he's up there.
But that's the best part.
Well, you better put 5 irrelevant guys.
Well, either you put 5 irrelevant guys in there, or you have someone like Lesnar clear out like 3 or 4, and it's just Lesnar in the ring, and it's Jericho, and Jericho doesn't want to come down.
Right.
It's like no, keep me up here.
That's a good idea. They try to lower it, and he's truly trapped in a shark cage with a beast circling.
And by the time he comes down, it's the next guy to come out.
The fantasy booking here is fantastic.
See, the shark cage isn't a bad idea after all.
All right, so we're both agreeing Roman Reigns is not winning.
Yeah, no way.
All right, and the other title match, the World Heavyweight over on SmackDown Live, John Cena trying to get number 16 against the phenomenal AJ Styles. What a year it has been for AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, I've watched the video 2 or 3 times since in the last couple of weeks. They've been putting it up on their Twitter and stuff when AJ came out, and it's crazy that it's been a year now that he's been in, and he's already been the champ that runs the camp. He's been holding the title for a long time now, since September, and I don't see how I can pick this without thinking that there's a little bit of John Cena. I don't know.
The toughest thing about picking this match is that you know what lies beyond, which is this Elimination Chamber match. So it's like, who do you see going in as the champion, having to defend? This to me screams AJ Styles is going to find a way to hold on.
Yeah.
John Cena. Obviously, let's be real. John Cena has no problem losing to guys. He's lost to guys.
He's lost to AJ Styles
I
already,
could see Cena losing to Styles again. And more credibility to Styles. He holds onto the title. Then he has to walk in and defend it against 5 other guys. What happens from that point on in terms of the build to Mania? Again, we'll talk about it at length as we go on through the next few weeks. But I'm going to say it: AJ Styles, champion, leaving champion. I think both titles stay where they are.
I would agree with that. And again, the Elimination Chamber is the only wild card in this whole thing that makes you get that little bit of an edge for AJ Styles to maintain it. I still think Cena will tie and probably break Flair's record, but
eventually,
whenever that will be, I have no idea.
Eventually, yes, but I don't feel like it's going to be here and now.
No.
All right, here and now is Juice, and now we're going to toss it down to Florida, where our colleague Josh Eisenberg is down there. Josh, what do you have for the Royal Rumble undercard match predictions?
Well, first off, I'll agree with you, Justin. I do think the Universal Championship match is going to be won by Kevin Owens. I know there's so much hype around Roman Reigns becoming champion and leading into WrestleMania. I just don't see the value in a Universal Championship match for Roman Reigns, because if you have Roman Reigns at WrestleMania as champion, he's going to be booed out of Orlando like he was last year in Dallas, especially if he's facing a guy like Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman might be hated, but people actually appreciate and respect him a lot more than they do of Roman Reigns. So I think when you look at the matchup of that being a Universal Championship matchup, people aren't going to want to see that for that main championship. Now with Kevin Owens, I think Kevin Owens becomes Universal Champion and stays that way heading into WrestleMania, because he has been the most consistent guy on Monday Night Raw, along with who? Chris Jericho. That's your Money Universal Championship match heading into WrestleMania. So when you look at the Royal Rumble, I do think that you're going to get a really physical, great match, but there's going to be some shenanigans, and Kevin Owens is going to still become and retain and remain the champion heading into February and March. Now, looking at the WWE World Championship, that's more of a coin flip for me. I want to see AJ Styles be a champion heading into WrestleMania like most fans want to, but you can never doubt when WWE puts a title around the waist of John Cena. There's been rumors, speculation, who's debuting, who's going to face who for the championship. I am going to go out on a very thin branch here, not even a limb, a very thin branch, and say that Samoa Joe could potentially interfere in this match if they're not going to use him in the Royal Rumble. If they use Joe in the Royal Rumble, don't you think that he has to win? It's not the same thing as it was last year with AJ Styles, because he was a surprise entrant who was never in NXT or WWE, so he could make a strong case and still resurrect and bring his career to WWE from New Japan. But if you bring Samoa Joe in the Royal Rumble match, I think that they have to make him the winner, and that's a big push for somebody who's just making their debut on Raw or SmackDown Live. At the end of the night, you're going to see two great championship matches. Cena and Styles has already delivered at SummerSlam, but now basically a WrestleMania main event hangs in the limbs. So who will it be? Those are my predictions. If you're going to do it on Wrestle Rumble, pick against me because I want to win the money. But at Wrestle Rumble, make your predictions for the Royal Rumble in San Antonio on Sunday night. Here, this is Josh Eisenberg from Chairshot Reality. Those are my predictions. I'm coming up next. I will tell you who will win the Royal Rumble, and it could be glorious, or you could just have to drink it in, man.